Live at 5. It is, what is it? It's Friday. Oh my God, thank God it's Friday. It's February 16th. I'm Paul Wontorek.
And I am Ryan Lee Gilbert.
We are joined in the studio by producer Matt Roden.
That is me. Hello.
And oh my God, an amazing guest today.
We do.
Who's here?
We have Alexis Michelle
Who
joining
we love,
us.
who we love.
Yes.
From Drag Race and appearing like a regular, it's like the Billy Joel of Feinstein 54 Below. I love it. It's like a regular gig. So we're going to talk to Alexis, but first, let's do today's top 5.
Okay, so to start things off, we found out Paper Mill's new season is kicking off with this Andrew Lloyd Webber review that we talked about, I think, last week.
Yeah, we just talked about this. This is the Andrew Lloyd Webber's sort of like Sondheim on Sondheim. It's his like kind of version or his of
Do we
Prince
know
of
that?
Broadway.
Do we know what the structure is?
So here's I looked into it a little bit. So first of all, this is happening at Paper Mill Playhouse. This is the world premiere of Unmasked.
Everything premieres at Paper Mill Playhouse.
I know, they are nailing it, yeah.
And then halftime is coming. Halftime's coming next. Anyway.
Right. So this is happening. It'll start September 27th, and it's running for a limited time through October 28th. Directed by John Doyle, which we knew. And the way it sort of works is there are going to be these tales from Andrew Lloyd Webber's career.
Wait, it's called Unmasked, which is also the name of his book.
His memoir,
Yes.
which
Right?
comes out March 6th. Yes. But one of the interesting things that I read this time is that some of his iconic characters will meet and will interact in this show for the very first time. Yeah, and they're going to be like a cappella versions of a lot of his favorite songs. So I mean, it's just going to be this strange celebration of.
Now I'm going to fantasize
Andrew
about which
Lloyd
characters I want
know
to
that,
meet.
right? I've been thinking
How
about it all
weird.
day. Like, oh, what if, like, yeah, it'd be.
I feel like Joe Gillis and Grisabella would be hot together.
That does sound hot.
I'm into that. Wow, so this is interesting. And when is it happening?
And it's September 27th through October 28th at Paper Mill Playhouse in New Jersey.
Back in the day, Paper Mill used to just do like Dusty.
Yeah, we just do like an Annie every year,
and now they do like every new like Broadway-bound musical.
I know they're Tony Award winning. Good
so
for
get
them.
get your season tickets for Paper Mill, Jersey people.
We also got a slew of London casting today. A lot of it.
Or two. Slew equals 2.
Yeah, slew is 2. Well, it's more than one person. Come on. It's like, you know what I mean?
I'm sorry.
It's not just sassy on a Friday. It's okay. I'm here for it.
Okay, so they're doing chess in the West End. You know, they're doing chess in D.C. I'm going tomorrow.
That's
Can't
right,
wait
this
to see
weekend.
It. Michael Ball, who we love, will be Anatoly. Speaking of Andrew Lloyd Webber people, Anatoly, Alexandra Burke will be Svetlana, Cassidy Jansen will be Florence. I don't know them. I'm sure they're fabulous. Murray Head, who is the original chess star, is playing the Arbiter, and Tim Hauer is Freddie. That's the role that Raul Esparza is doing in DC.
Right.
And then meanwhile, Chicago is coming back. We knew that.
We knew about Cuba.
Cuba Gooding
Cuba
Jr.
Gooding,
is Billy Flynn. But now we know that Ruthie Henschel is
great.
playing, Alexis Michelle just had a heart attack, is playing Mama Morton.
Yeah.
So you know, she previously played Velma. And did she also?
I think she did. I think
she played. I thought she was a Roxy.
Andy said that she's played both.
She's
of
an old
them.
pro.
And
We
now
love her.
she's Mama.
And who else? Anyway, Josephina Gabrielle is Velma Kelly. Yeah. So that's the slew of London casting.
The slew of London casting. Today, Margaritaville starts previews, which is kind of crazy that it's already like happening.
Is it
here.
crazy?
It did its out of town. Now it's here. It's on the Great White Way. It's at the Marquee Theater, and it's starting tonight.
It's the first new musical in a while, right?
Yeah. And I mean, I'm a big Jimmy Buffett fan.
Is this the first new musical since Sondheim on Sondheim, Prince on Prince?
Yeah, Prince of
I believe
Broadway.
so.
Maybe?
Yeah. So they're performing now, and we just took out the stars, Paul Alexander Nolan and Allison Luff. We took them to the Vinyl.
It's called the Vinyl. It's not Vinyl, the restaurant.
It was
9th Avenue.
super
It's the Vinyl.
beachy and cool looking. We took some beautiful photos. Emilio Madrid Cuser did, and we talked to them about falling in love under the stars and this new show, which I'm super excited to see.
You may sound so romantic.
I mean,
it's
it
a
is
little,
romantic.
Like,
It's
dirtier
about,
and more fun than that,
yes, but I mean,
I was
there's
listening
still
to the
romance.
cast recording. Suddenly, I know Jimmy Buffett's
yeah.
songs. Suddenly, that's a thing I know.
This is what it took.
When you cover Broadway nowadays, you learn things you never thought you would learn.
You do, yeah.
And speaking of new shows opening, today we launched our spring preview. The first of 5 articles, I think that's what it is.
No, Matt, you missed the meeting. No, we're doing.
Poor Matt can't.
We're doing.
I can't get a break today.
Spring preview. Make sure you do that.
I can't. It's not working.
Oh, it's not working. We're doing a big spring preview, which means that we are highlighting all the great new things coming up. We did great photo shoots with a lot of the stars, interviews, videos. So it started today. We have a piece with Frozen stars, Casey Levy and Patty Murin.
Yes.
And Caitlin McNaney took some beautiful photos
They're
of them.
gorgeous, those
every
portraits
day.
of
So every
them.
day for the next 8 days, there will be a different feature. And look for it over the weekend, over the holiday break.
Look at that.
It's 8?
There's a lot happening. It's exciting.
It is.
So yeah, get into it. Spring. It's
Spring
here.
preview, finally.
It's here.
And last but not least, we have a new culturalist on the site that this one's fun.
Yeah, so I mean, all of you out there, all you Smash fans, we know Catherine McPhee is joining Waitress in the spring. And so we decided to ask all of you to rank your top 10 Smash alums that you would like to be on Broadway right now.
A lot of them have been on
A lot of them have
Broadway,
already been on Broadway. So many American Idol people as well. Catherine McPhee from that. But the Smash people, who from Smash do you want to
Now,
see
why
on
did
Broadway?
we do this culturalist?
Because Catherine McPhee is joining
because
Waitress.
the word Smash gets traffic.
And because you all
guys like
love
Smash.
Smash so much. Did
Yeah.
you like Smash?
I liked it. It was a little too close to home.
I feel like we don't talk
It's a
about
little
how
too close
just
to
it
home.
wasn't good. We don't ever talk about that.
And they never mentioned Broadway.com on it.
No. They talked
And,
about some message boards from another. I've never heard of it. Yeah.
No, anyway, I mean, it was good. Maybe someday there'll be a season 3 reboot.
Maybe, yeah.
On Netflix.
Or a musical adaptation.
I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, I'm glad you all loved it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And now
That's
vote,
it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank
Have
you
a nice
for having
weekend.
me.
Have a
Thank
nice
you so
holiday.
much.
We're
You
off
too.
on Monday,
I can't wait
guys.
to hear about chess.
Oh, yeah. You're
So
going to hear
excited.
about it.
I can't wait.
Mr. Matt Roden, why don't you tell us about today's fabulous guest?
I would love to. Alexis Michelle, one of the last queens standing on RuPaul's Drag Race Season 9, returns to Feinstein's 54 Below. Breathe in, I, breathe out, am. This simple meditation has seen Alexis Michelle through the most exciting and challenging year of her career. From the exhilaration of being thrust into the reality TV spotlight and the struggles of the social media age, Alexis has lived it all and is stronger for it. Through a repertoire of songs made famous by divas like Liza, Madonna, Dolly, Gaga, and some of her own signature tunes, Thank You for Being a Friend and Ladies Who Lunch, Alexis shares the experiences that have challenged her and have made her brave enough to say, Alexis, I am. And now, here's Paul and Alexis.
Hi, Alexis. So happy you're here.
I'm so happy to be here.
I love feeling so small, but I love feeling dwarfed by a guest. I don't get that often.
You know, that's what I'm here for, just to make you feel dainty.
How's it going?
Good. I did fall out of my chair during current events because you really got me going with that Ruthie Henschel casting. So just to clarify for everybody out there, Ruthie opened the West End production as Roxy, and then she did Velma here in New York. And
I love that you know that you should just be hosting this.
I would honestly empty my bank account to see her go into one of those roles again. But I still might consider making a trip to the West End to see her play Mama.
I mean, Mama Morton's a little less. Yeah, I don't know. It's fun, but
Ruthie Henschel doing anything is good for me.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Weber production at Paper Mill, I feel like a Grisabella Raoul, like cougar moment could be really hot. I'm a cougar, so you know, I'm into those kind of ideas.
I just want to say the last time you were here, it was right before you were announced for Drag Race, actually.
Yes, I tried to behave because
it was like a week or two before. You couldn't.
It was days before.
It was days. There were rumors.
Before.
We knew you were doing it, but we couldn't say you were doing it, or we didn't know officially you were doing it.
I didn't know I was doing it, so how did you know?
And I just want to say I'm a big Drag Race fan.
Woo!
And I loved watching you on it, and you really did Broadway proud.
Thank you.
And you really represented Broadway fans, and you brought so much Broadway to it, and I love that.
It's I have to be who I am. I am what I am. What can I say?
Alexis, I am. Alexis, I am. Now, so that's your title of your show.
That's the cabaret show. Basically, years ago, I dove into a yoga and meditation practice. And, there's so much noise and busyness in our minds as we go through our day-to-day lives. And somebody taught me this mantra that on your inhale, you think the word I, and on the exhale, you think the word am. And it's so simple. And it just slows you down. And you don't, the first instinct, when I first did it, the instinct was to say, I am this, I am that. And then you kind of want to stop that and go, no, it's kind of existential. It's very simple. It's just I am. And it's enough to be present in the moment and be wherever you are and be good with that. And yeah, so that's sort of what the gist of the show is about, because as I entered into this whirlwind of TV craziness, the noise gets really loud. The noise got even louder, throughout the year. And so I had to go back to meditation to try to center and quiet down and slow down a little bit. And that's where the inspiration for this new show at Feinstein's 54 Below came.
Now, were you able to stay in those moments during the taping of it? 'Cause I also watched Untucked.
Yeah.
And like there was a lot of drama. I mean, like I saw a lot of your drama. I was like, oh, okay. I was worried about you at times, but there was a lot. You kind of like there were times where you looked like you sort of were like losing your patience or.
It is one of the most intense situations you can be in. I think I can say, having never been on Broadway yet, I think I can say that like when that opportunity presents itself, I'll be ready, because the pressure cooker that is filming a season of Drag Race is really intense. And I spent so many years auditioning for the show and sort of hoping that I would get on.
Right.
And you spend all this time thinking, what is it going to be like? What's it going to be like? And you really don't know until you're there in the thick of it. Right. And it presents all new surprises and challenges and stresses that you could not have anticipated.
So Broadway, you would love to do Broadway?
Absolutely.
So what would be what was your connection to Broadway before all this?
So I'm a native New Yorker, born and raised, and I saw the original production of Into the Woods when I was a little boy. And that's really what started it all for me. I fell in love with theater, I fell in love with stagecraft, I fell in love with Sondheim, and the material in that show in particular started to resonate with me deeper as I got old enough to understand it.
Right.
And
that's what's great about Sondheim.
Yes.
You can like check into a show after even a little bit of your life, and new levels peel off.
Good wine and good cheese, honey. It just gets better. But yeah, I just fell in love with the theater, and from a very young age, I was pursuing acting. I was in acting class since first grade. And I went to LaGuardia here in the city for a couple years. I went to Interlochen in Michigan after that. Right. Okay. And then I went to University of Michigan for musical theater. And so, that whole time, drag was there. I was sort of dabbling in it over the years, but pursuing this career on stage primarily was the main focus. Okay. And when I got back after Michigan, I'd do a few productions here and there every year. And I was actually very private and secretive about my drag. I was afraid that it would, pigeonhole me, and I would be very limited in opportunities. Right. And that's even before, the past several years where drag has had such a moment on Broadway. Right. And I'm very excited about, what the future, what's possible for the future in and out of drag for me. I don't want people to think that that's the only path for me. Right. But I'm just so excited about things happening in the business now. I mean, my dear sweet cast member Peppermint from season 9 is making her Broadway debut in Head Over Heels
Go-Go's musical,
this summer. And last night I went and I saw Justin Vivian Bond's American Songbook show at Lincoln Center.
Karen Carpenter's show.
Oh, it was fabulous. I'm gonna go back to Joe's Pub in May when she does it again. But it was just incredible, and I thought to myself, there's so much that's possible. Yeah.
So what would be and you have a lot of Broadway friends.
Yeah. I between being a performer and also working with Matt Murphy.
Yeah. You actually, I first met you because you worked on some of our photo shoots with Matt Murphy.
I've met so many.
Not looking like this, by the way.
Actually, you want to know what's funny? We shot Lindsay Mendez's. We shot a series, a Day in the Life series for you with Lindsay, and we were gonna shoot photos that went into my Drag Race submission after we shot Lindsay and her husband, and I came like half painted, so I was actually painted once at a shoot. But yeah, I've met so many wonderful actors throughout my years of working as a makeup artist, and so I've sort of like been Broadway adjacent, all these years.
So what would be the Broadway dream role?
I think the last time I was here, I said Mrs. Lovett.
Right.
I mean,
And you explored that on Drag Race. Wasn't there like a Sweeney Todd moment?
There was a Sweeney Todd moment post Drag Race. We did a photo shoot. All of us New York girls did a photo shoot where we each picked a Broadway show.
Yes.
To dress up in. And I did a little Mrs. Lovett moment. There's so many great, revivals that I would love to do, but I'm going to go out and say the actor thing. I want an original role.
Like that peppermint moment. Yeah,
actually, you know what? I'm going to put it out there now. Okay. Because this is how shit happens.
Okay. Yes.
I hope I'm allowed to say that.
You just did.
I just did. Sorry.
No, it's good.
There's a show that's making its way.
Okay.
And I went and I saw the very first presentation of To Wong Fu. And, over the years, as I've seen productions like Priscilla and I've seen productions like Kinky Boots, people have always said to me, "Oh, why don't you go do Kinky Boots?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I do drag, but it's not really It's not really what I do, and it's not really for me." Vita Bohème.
Vita. Yeah.
When I saw what what they did with it, I thought this could be for me.
Douglas Carter Bean, what's up? How's it going?
Come see my show at 54. Be my guest.
Well, by the way, once a month, right? January 24th. Is this right?
We have January. We did January 21st. 24th
oh my God,
was
January.
the
I love that I don't know
was the opening.
Where are we now?
I love that I don't know that.
Now we're in February.
It's February, kids.
Next week, February 21st.
And then you're doing March 21st.
Yes.
And April 18th. I
That's
got those right.
Yes.
I got those right.
Yes. January 24th was the first, but next week, the 21st, is our next engagement.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Mr. Matt Roden, are there any questions from the fans out there?
Well, we're actually almost out of time.
Well, let's do a couple.
Okay. So what would you say is the biggest difference between putting together a drag show and putting together a cabaret show?
For me, the difference is almost nil because my drag has always been very theatrical. Yeah. And I approach drag much the way any singer or actor would approach putting a cabaret show together. It's like the material has to be both deeply personal and something that you connect with, but it can't just be something you connect with or else it's so self-indulgent. It's got to be something that everybody coming to see the show can grab onto as well. I think what makes drag different is that you're turning up the volume. There's a greater allowance for camp and for perhaps some foul language, but really they're very closely tied. Yeah. And for me, and I think what you'll find when you come see the show at 54 Below is that this is probably not what you're expecting out of a drag show. I think you're gonna walk away a little bit more reflective and hopefully breathing a little slower and a little more calmly.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Eric wants to know, are you watching All-Star Season 3?
I didn't watch last night yet, so give me a minute.
No spoilers.
Give me a minute.
I'm going to say this, Paul. There were a couple who rose to the top, but it was largely a pretty rough snatch game.
And your snatch game, your Liza was everything.
Thank you.
Everything.
Laura wants to know, what's your favorite drag word?
Word.
Work. W-E-R-K. Work.
Oh,
there's not a Q.
It's not a Q, it's a K.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying.
W-E-R-K.
Okay, I'm here for that.
I'm sure there are multiple spellings, but that's how I spell it.
Lindsay wants to know, what divas inspired you growing up?
Oh my God. I was a big, not just a fan of the stage, but also of movie musicals. So Julie Andrews, Carol Burnett, and Bernadette Peters, Joanna Gleason. And then I actually got to see Julie Andrews in Victor Victoria when she was on Broadway. Yeah. I was up in the last row of the balcony.
Were young.
I was young, and I had my binoculars. And on her first entrance, I was shaking so hard I couldn't see anything.
You have to see Bernadette in Hello Dolly. I saw it last night.
Yes, I can't wait.
Yes, you need to see that. Okay, how many wigs do you have?
Millions.
Do you have, your own separate apartment for wigs?
No, you want to buy me one?
You can keep them here.
This is so beautiful. I love the studio.
We did it for you.
We built it ourselves.
I appreciate that.
Okay, so Valentine's Day just happened. I'm going to ask you some rapid fire love questions if you don't mind.
Sure.
Who was your first crush?
Macaulay Culkin.
Who was your first kiss? Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin. No. First kiss. Oh my God. I'm a woman of a certain age, and I think just, you wouldn't ask me my age, so don't ask me when my first kiss was. It was many, many moons ago.
What would be
Timmy, Johnny, Joe? I don't know.
What's like an ideal dream date? Like what's that scenario? What does that look like? How does somebody
dream date? Let's like go. Let's either go to like Fiorello and then go to the opera.
Okay.
Or let's do like Joe Allen in the theater, and then
dinner and a show,
and then like a nice walk. Let's do it in weather where we can walk afterward.
Yeah. Actually not bad today.
Yeah, no, it's lovely.
No,
it's
lovely
perfect drag weather.
Who's your celebrity crush?
Well, it used to be Trixie Mattel, but I've moved on from that. Now, I think we'll say Ramin.
Karamlu?
Duh.
Yum.
Okay, so how do you treat yourself after a breakup? What's like your go-to, besides breathing, I am, how do you?
Well, I mean, I've never been broken up with, so it's always just
But if it happens.
It's always a huge relief. So, I go out and I skip and I pick flowers and sunbathe in Sheep's Meadow and look at the small bathing suits.
I love that.
This is a question I feel like we need to address. Emily wants to know: are there any special guests we can expect in your new show?
Oh, so my dear friend from Interlaken, actually, who I met over.
I think I know who you're gonna say.
Yeah, I won't say how long ago. Alexandra Silber,
who I saw Hello Dolly with last night.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah, we went to see Bernadette Peters last night.
She and I have been friends for a very long time, and she has joined me before, and she will be joining me on the 21st.
Fabulous.
So come and see us. We've got some fun stuff planned. Okay. She actually put together her own little mashup that is very theme related for the show.
Oh.
And then we pull a little duet together.
Fun.
So
okay.
Yeah. So come see Alexandra Silber, and then we're securing our guest for the next one, but there will be some additional guests in the coming months as well.
Fabulous. Okay, so the 21st, March 21st, and April 18th. I'm sorry you missed the January gig. Maybe next January. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
Love seeing you. Matt, why don't you take us out?
I would love to. Thank you guys so much for tuning in if you're watching us live. You can watch Live at 5 every single day, weekday, live at 5 p.m. on Broadway.com's Facebook page. And if you're a fan of podcasts, maybe you're listening to us right now, or you just want another way to consume this show, you can subscribe to the Live at 5 podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to join us on Tuesday, because Monday is President's Day, and we will not have a Live at 5, when Ben Fankhauser, the newsie himself, stops by the studio. Thank you all for joining us. Happy Friday. Have a good weekend, everybody. Bye.